Conquest of Mecca, 8th year of Hijrah. The Prophet ﷺ comes with 10,000 companions. And as he enters into the city, one companion climbs onto the Kaaba. He climbs onto the Kaaba and he proclaims, Allahu Akbar, Shadu an la ilaha illallah, Shadu Muhammad Rasulullah, and he goes on and he proclaims the adhan. The people of Mecca look out of their windows and they see who is on top of the Kaaba and they say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God that our parents died before they saw a black man on top of the Kaaba. When you think of Bilal ibn Rabah radiallahu anhu, you think of a person who really, he didn't have any reason to feel valuable in society. He grew up a slave in Mecca. He was a foreigner. He was black. He was from Abyssinia. He didn't have any tribal backing. He didn't have anything that would cause for him to have a high self-esteem. Yet, subhanAllah, the Prophet ﷺ was able to transform this person so that he became one of the symbols, one of the eternal symbols of strength in Islam. Bilal ibn Rabah, ahadun ahad. Now, when you look at Bilal, and I always think about Bilal because really just it's amazing how strong he was in a society where he had every reason to feel like he wasn't worth anything. When you experience this here in the US, for example, a person might feel uncomfortable simply speaking because they have an accent, or because they weren't born here, or because they feel like they don't have the same legal status, or that their colors are different, and they don't find in themselves the courage or find themselves the value to be able to see themselves as on an equal footing with others. And as a Muslim community, you want to be able to study the transformation that Bilal went through so that you can replicate it amongst ourselves. Now, one of the things that I found about the Prophet ﷺ, two examples that I wanted to look at. The first is with the Prophet ﷺ, and the second is with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ with Bilal, there was one time when the companion Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu, he came and he spoke to Bilal and he called out to him and he said, Ya ibn as-Sawda, oh son of a black woman. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't, his methodology is that he wouldn't let a companion be belittled in his presence. The Prophet ﷺ, he didn't laugh along with them and he wasn't quiet when that statement was uttered. He looked at Abu Dharr and he said, أَعَيَرْتَهُ بِأُمِّهِ إِنَّكَ امْرِئٍ فِيكَ جَاهِلِيَّةٌ. Are you belittling him because of who his mother is? Are you blaming him because of who his mother is? You are a person who has in him jahiliyyah. So he immediately corrected Abu Dharr, because who knows, that statement could have injured Bilal radiallahu anhu. Even though it's true, Abu Dharr isn't lying. People will say, I wasn't lying. But he is the son of a black woman. But he is a person coming from a particular experience. He's in a particular society. That is blame. He said, أَعَيَرْتَهُ. Are you blaming him due to who his mother is? You are a person who has in you ignorance. And so that statement, the Prophet ﷺ's defense of Bilal, is a beautiful, beautiful ingredient in the transformation of Bilal radiallahu anhu. The second thing that I wanted to look at is the purchasing of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu of Bilal. Bilal, at one point in time in Mecca, he was being tortured by his owner, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, and Abu Bakr was walking by. So Abu Bakr said to Umayyah, why don't you give him up? This slave of yours is causing you such a headache. Sell him to me. So Umayyah ibn Khalaf names his price, 10 gold nuggets. And so Abu Bakr doesn't bat an eye and he purchases it. So Umayyah, he is happy with his transaction. He sees himself to be, really a winner in this transaction. He says to Abu Bakr, if you had negotiated down with me to 1 gold nugget, I would have sold him to you. A fraction of the price, I would have sold him to you. A tenth of the price. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he says, if you had insisted that you would not sell him except for 100, I would have purchased him. If you had named a price that was 10 times more than the price that you named, I would have purchased him. So Bilal ibn Rabah, you can imagine the worth that Bilal ibn Rabah felt when he is seeing from Abu Bakr that he's worth so much more to the Muslims. He's worth so much more in the sight of Allah than he is towards in the eyes of the disbelievers, in the eyes of his master or his previous master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf. And so the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they used to say, Sayyiduna a'taq Sayyidina, that our master, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he freed our master, Bilal ibn Rabah radiallahu anhu, and they are all our masters, and they were trained by the master of them all, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.